If you haven't seen the previous episodes of the series, you should definitely watch those. Hi, it's Emily again. Now don't be scared. Don't be scared. I'll explain everything in a few minutes. At the moment, I'm not at home. Unfortunately, I got involved in a dangerous affair. My spying adventure ended rather frustrating. I'm in the house of that guy who chopped the trees with his eye beams. It appeared that was not the only thing he's capable of. Just imagine this. He could be a real superhero if he wasn't a supervillain. I'll show you him now. Can you see it? He seems to be a cute boy. One can even say he's rather handsome. In fact, he's a devil. I haven't seen anyone scarier in my whole life. His eyes became blood red every time he sees me. It feels like he's ready to cremate me with this stare right here and right now. And then he suddenly goes back to normal again. Here is our local superhero. Let's talk. It was the beginning of our conversation when he detected me hiding in the bushes. He didn't attack me, he just smiled rather sweetly. I also tried to do it, but the smile reflected all my fear of his red eyes. They were completely red. The pupils were not seen. They frightened me severely. He apologized and put on his glasses after he understood what had caused my fear. Then he became serious. So, do you want to see a real superhero? Did you understand that your powers are trash in comparison with mine? He started arrogantly. All that time, he was holding me by the hood, being paralyzed by fear and barely moving. I even didn't think about how strong that teen was. It looked like he was teasing me. At first, he moved closer, and his face was just near mine. I saw the beams starting to stream out of his eyes. They came closer and were about to burn through my eyes, so I unwittingly closed them. The guy laughed and threw me on the ground, though I was not able to stand up. I moved a little bit further and kept listening to him. He told me we gained our superpowers for a reason. Apparently, the shooting stars which were seen in the sky the day we made our wishes were quite rare. This phenomenon happens only once in 100 years, and those who decide to change at that moment could get incredible powers. He also wanted to be special and to stand out from his peers just like me. But he wasn't interested in good deeds. He dreamed to be the strongest out of all known villains. If one wants to be a bad guy, he should become the baddest of all, chuckled the boy. I couldn't believe my ears. Is he serious? So there are more of such dreamers as we are? And maybe some of them also gained powers because of the shooting star. How many are there? What else would I learn? I couldn't listen to him anymore and screamed. The guy stopped talking and grinned a little bit. Yeah, it's hard to face the truth. Let's go and I will show you something, he said. Then he picked me up without asking for my permission and carried me somewhere. I didn't resist because I was too shocked by his behavior and also by the story. We ended up at his house. He remains silent and doesn't show me anything. That's why I started recording. And now you can see everything with your own eyes. If something happens to me, you know where to find me. And now I will try to speak to him. So I turn the camera off. It's time to figure out what's going on here. I came closer to the guy, though he even didn't notice my move. Who are you? He remained silent. I'm asking you who you are. Answer me, I shouted sharply. He calmly turned back and smiled. Sit, said the stranger. Involuntarily, I sat down in the chair which was standing near. Who am I? I am a mutant, just like you. The one made by the shooting star. We are rather different, although both of us have some superpowers. You protect and I destroy. Everything is that simple. I think our universe keeps its balance this way. The one thing remains mysterious for me. How can you, with your primitive powers, resist me? Why haven't you asked for something more special? Laughed the boy. I don't understand why he was saying all that. Then suddenly, his words made sense for me. What can I do? Am I powerful enough to be called a superhero and help everyone? What can I do? Am I powerful enough to be called a superhero and help everyone? I can patrol my city at night and take the cats from trees. I can fly just a little bit in case of an emergency. And also I can be invisible. But what can I do with a guy whose eyes melt everything in a second? How can I deal with that? You can't, unexpectedly said the guy. Oh, so you have telepathic powers as well. How did I turn to be here? And what should I do? I can't even escape. He'll destroy me in a moment. I slowly rolled over onto the floor, feeling extremely tired. I closed my eyes because I suddenly got very sleepy. Also, I realized how absurd our clash was, which should have happened sooner or later, but I didn't understand why it happened right now. And what will happen after? Then I felt something in my chest and opened my eyes. The guy looked at me in terror. He didn't move and was petrified. I jumped to my feet and looked around. What happened? Who's here? What did he do? Why is he... Well, okay, I should calm down and focus. I wanted to help but was afraid even to touch him. What if it was me who did that? How could I know? So I just sat back in the chair and turned the camera of my phone on to start the live broadcast on social media. Guys, are you here? Can you hear me? I'm fine, but I need some help. Can you see this? The guy turned to stone somehow. I have no idea how did he do that and what should I do about this? He was just petrified. Wait a second. What's happening? I dropped the phone on the floor and saw that the boy started to move. His hand has already got free from the stone and was trying to reach me. It looked like the transformation was a short-term one, and I should run as fast as possible. I headed to the exit. The speed was the most important thing for me at that moment, the one which I've never used before. I was sure when he would be capable of moving, he would immediately chase me and melt me. I really didn't want that. Can you believe me? I managed to reach the road, which was rather dark as all the streetlights were not working. I definitely should ask the mayor of the city to take care of that, in case I will survive, of course. And now, it's important to be invisible. This way I can get lost. But how can I check whether I'm not seen? Oh, there's a car! I'll check my reflection in its window. Great! My personal protection is working again. And here is the boy. And he is very angry. I should move silently enough for him not to detect me. Oops! He burned several trees! Well, he will definitely fight me in several seconds. So Emily, please be careful. I tried to thumb out. Can you imagine how scared I was? How could an invisible person thumb out? The boy was getting closer and closer, burning everything in his way. Then I ran. I feel myself much easier and lighter, so running didn't tire me at all. Soon enough, I made it to the nearest police station. The boy was not seen when I looked around. Perfect. There's still a chance for everything to end well. Perhaps he doesn't want to look for me anymore, or at least he will delay his hunt to the next day. So I will have the possibility to send the police officers directly to his house. I became visible again and opened the door of the police station, where everyone knew me quite well. Sometimes it's good to be the local superhero in a little town. Everyone checks the news and knows about your life even more than you do. I tried to speak distinctly, telling them everything that happened to me. At first, the police officers stood still and then laughed. They laughed so loud that the windows were shivering. My story seemed to be very funny for them. The town was in danger, and they were just laughing. They said they've never heard of such nonsense. It would be okay if the attacker was an ordinary boy, but red beams out of his eyes? This could happen only in movies. They decided that I made up everything, but then he walked in. Didn't expect me? Laughed the boy. He even didn't pay any attention to the police officers. They asked whether he was the one who harmed me. After that, they tried to explain to him that he should behave the other way and so on. All that lasted for a minute or so. Then they noticed his red eyes and rushed back. "What's that? What's going on with him?" they were saying. I shouted for them to run away from here as fast as possible. They disappeared, and the boy started playfully destroying everything around. Tables, chairs, papers. He made that as though he wasn't hurting anyone. I closed my eyes again, terrified by his actions and all the noise. And when I opened them, everything was over. I was shocked. The supervillain was turned into a stone. He didn't move. I understood it was me who did it in his house. It was not some coincidence. So it's my other superpower. I can turn anyone into stone. I wish I could understand how I activate it quickly enough. If I knew that, I could stop him for some time. Now I can put him in jail. But what do I do when he would be able to move again? His eyes can burn through the metal as well as other materials. What do I do? Police officers were trying to understand what happened with the boy. His eyes, what shall we do with them? I asked. At the moment, someone entered the police station. It was a girl of my age. She was beautiful with long hair and green eyes. Apparently, you can't figure things out without me, she laughed. She reached for the guy with her hand, and in a moment, he turned to dust. Police officers were shocked as well as me. So my questions were quite actual. It seems that there are far more of such people with a superpower than anyone could imagine. I wish I knew how many of them live in our town. What will happen when we find each other? I can't even imagine that. I looked in the eyes of my savior, who has such cool powers. She nodded to me, smiled, and then just went out. The police officers and I stood still. We didn't know what just happened, and what to do next, and little pieces of dust were slowly falling on the floor.